This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so Sandeep, let us start. Okay, so do you have any queries on the enterprise structure, the P2P cycle which we discussed yesterday?
No, sir. It was all clear.
Okay. So then the next topic is the enterprise structure, right? So in SAP, mainly we will do as a consultant, we will do 4 type of activities. 1 minute, I am getting one call. Hello? Hmm. Okay, okay. Okay then. So, right, so yesterday we were discussing regarding the P2P cycle we discussed, right? So then what next? So as a SAP functional consultant, we mainly going to do 4 type of activities, 4 type of work we will do as a consultant, right? So the work one is, let us say, we will do various configurations, right? Like when I say various configurations, like you have the org structure. So we need to define the org structure first as a configuration, right? So we need to define the org structure first. Means org structure is nothing but like I want to implement a SAP project for one company, right? I need to identify what exactly the structure of that particular company, how many manufacturing locations it is having, how many company codes I need to define, and how many departments are the cost centers that are there within a company. So like that, I need to define first, I need to identify the organizational elements first, right? So that is the nothing but a org structure. Then we need to do some configuration related to approval mechanism. We discussed, right? Approval process or approval mechanism or approval process, right? So also we have a pricing like that. There are hundreds of configuration that we have to do it as a part of configuration activity. Once we have defined org structure, we need to create one more activity known as a master data, right? We need to create a master data. Like we have a material master, we have 7 types of master data in SAP Like we have material master data, then we have vendor master or the supplier master data. Supplier master data in SAP we call it as a vendor master data. Then we have service master data, then we have purchasing info records, then we have condition records, right? Then we have source list and quota arrangement, right? So we have source list, quota arrangement, etc. Right, so these are the various types of SAP master datas, right? We need to define all these master datas as a activity number 2. So once the master data are defined, then we have one more type of work that is known as the transactional data, right? Transactional data. Like we need to create various transactional data. Like one simple example is create purchase order. Create purchase order is one transactional data. Then create purchase requisition. Like that, you have hundreds of transactional data needs to be created. Like we have hundreds of transactional data to be created, right? Then we have a reporting, right? So I just explained you create purchase order, create purchase requisition. But we have the third category, fourth category of the work is we need to do various reports, right? So reports generation. Like we created various transactional data. Based upon the transactional data and the master data and configurations which we have created, we need to generate various reports, right? Like inventory valuation report. Inventory valuation report. We have inventory valuation report. Then we have open purchase orders report. Open purchase order report. Like that, we have hundreds of reports in SAP. So all those reports will be generated based upon the transactional data created and the master data created and the configuration which you have created. Right, based upon the configuration, master data and the transactional data and the reports, we will be able to generate various reports. Right, so these are the 4 activities which we are going to do it as a SAP consultant. Right, so yesterday we discussed the P2P cycle. After the P2P cycle, we need to define the organizational structure. So based upon the organizational structure, we are going to do master data and transactional data and the report generation, etc. So what is a organizational structure? So what are the SAP materials management organizational elements, right? We need to understand the SAP materials management organizational elements as a part of organizational structure, right? So since you are the consultant, you need to clearly define the SAP organizational elements, right? So what are the SAP organizational elements? So just for your understanding purpose, we will take one company as a reference or example, and based upon that we will try to discuss our organizational elements. Let us say I will take one of the organization for our understanding purpose. Let us say I will take a Tata Group. Right, so Tata Group is one of the group. You already know it, right? So within the Tata Group, let us say you have 3 lines of business, right? So Tata Group is having various lines of businesses, right? Like you have motors division, right? So one motors division you are going to define as a one company code, right? So they have Tata Motors Private Limited, right? Within the Tata Group, Motors division is a Tata Motors Private Limited. So this is a company code 1 or business line of business 1. Let us say this is company code 1. Right, company code 1 is Tata Motors Private Limited. So this is one line of business within a Tata Group. Then within the Tata Group, we have one more line of business, that is a Tata Steel Private Limited, right? Tata Steel Private Limited. Tata Steel Private Limited. Again, within the Tata Motors, you will have Tata Projects Private Limited, let us say. That is company code 3. Right, so you have within the Tata Group, you have a Tata Motors Private Limited. Again, you have Tata Steel Private Limited. Again, you have Tata Projects Private Limited. Right, let me make some relationship between a Tata Group and these company codes. Right, so in SAP, Tata Group will be defined as a company. So Tata Group is called as a company, will be defined as a company. In SAP terminology, we will call Tata Group as a company, Tata Company. And Tata Motors Private Limited, we will call it as a company code. So this is the group. Within the group, you have three lines of business. So every line of business, we need to give a coding, right? This is organizational element 1, right? Org element 1. Right, so then company code is org element 2. Org element 2. So every organizational element you need to define with a 4 characteristic alphanumeric coding. You need to give coding for each and every organizational element. Like Tata Group company, I will give coding as TZ10. Right, then Tata Motors Private Limited company code, I will give TM10 as a code, and Tata Steel TS10, Tata Projects TP10. Right, we need to give the codes for each and every organizational element like this. Why do we need to give the coding? Because if in SAP, I will use only these codes to do the transactions. I will not use the description of the organizational element. Instead, I will use the coding only while doing the transactions. Right, like it is like your bank account. If you go to your bank, If I say I am Mr. Sandeep came to withdraw the money, they will say, what is your account number that is being allocated? So they will identify you with your account number only. They will not identify with your name, etc. Right? So you need to take the account number, and based upon your account number only, they will be doing the transactions for your account. Right? In the same way, in SAP also, if I am doing the transactions, I will use the coding only, not the description of the organizational elements. Let me try to show it to you. Right, so if I came over here, you see, let me try to create a purchase order, right? So if I'm trying to create a purchase order, I will use, let us say, I'm trying to create a purchase order. Let us say I need to enter a vendor code over here, right? This is the vendor code. So vendor is Henderson Inc. So I did not enter Henderson Inc. Instead, I entered the coding. Company code. So I will enter, I will not write Tata Group over here. Instead, I will enter the code that is being allocated to company code Best Run USA. Purchase organization, I will enter 3000. Purchasing group, I will enter the coding. So everywhere I will be entering the coding only. Instead, I will not be entering the descriptions over here. Then material number, I will enter the code only for the material which I have created. Right, so I just entered material number 2. Let me see if we have the material number or not. Material number is not there. You see, these and all the material numbers, right? And the quantity and the price, plant and storage location. Right, so I am entering everywhere. I am entering the coding only. I am not entering any descriptions, etc. Right. So bearing XYZ. So I haven't entered the text or the description of the bearing. Instead, I entered the bearing code that is being given to the bearing. So this is the material code which is given for the bearing. So I just entered this one. Right. So let me now try to click on check and save it. Right. So that is the reason every organizational element we need to give a code and configure these organizational elements within a SAP materials management module. So, but the company and the company code are finance module organizational element. So these are SAP finance organizational elements, right? These are not organizational elements. Instead, the company and the company code are finance related organizational elements. These are finance organizational elements. Finance org elements. Right? But What is SAP MM organizational elements? So we as a MM consultant, we need to understand the SAP MM related organizational elements. So what are the SAP MM organizational elements? So the first and foremost organizational element in SAP MM is a plant, right? So SAP MM org elements, right? So SAP MM organization, the first and foremost organizational element in SAP MM is a plant. So what is a plant? We will see. Let us say I have a company code that is known as a Tata Motors Private Limited. Within the Tata Motors Private Limited, I will have multiple manufacturing locations, right? Let us say Tata Motors is the company. Within the Tata Motors, I can have multiple manufacturing locations. One location is, let us say, Tata Motors Pune plant. Let us say here I am producing a truck. Then I also have a Tata Motors Mumbai plant. Let us say Tata Motors Mumbai plant. And Tata Motors Bangalore plant, let us say. Right, so these are the manufacturing plants within Tata Motors. Here I am producing truck. Here I am producing tractor. Here I am producing a mini truck, etc. Right, so these three manufacturing plants belongs to a company that is known as Tata Motors Private Limited. So every manufacturing plant we need to identify with four characteristic alphanumeric coding. So I will give TM11, then TM12 and TM13. Right, so like this we can define the coding for each and every plant. So the plant is a first and foremost organizational element in SAP MM. So these three plants belongs to a company code known as Tata Motors Private Limited. Right, let me try to make the assignment over here. TM10 to TM11, then TM10 to TM12, then TM10 to TM13. Right, so in the same way, your Tata Steel also will have three manufacturing plants on its own. It will have its own manufacturing plants. That is a Tata Steel Pune plant. It is a separate company code or line of business. Let us say this is Tata Steel Pune plant. This is Tata Steel Mumbai plant. This is Tata Steel Bangalore plant. So this will be identified as TS11. This is TS12 and TS13. Alright, so let us say they are producing one category of steel. Here they are producing one category. Here they are producing one category of the steel. Right, so different categories of the steel they may be producing. So let me now make a relationship between this plant and the company codes. I'm also making the relationship between these three plants and the company codes. Again, Tata Projects will have its own manufacturing plants. Right, so I will go over here, and so this is a Tata Projects Pune plant. That is TP11. And Tata Projects Mumbai plant. That is TP12. And Tata Projects Bangalore plant. That is TP13. So let me make this assignment. Then I will assign the TP10 to TP13 as well. Okay, Sandeep, are you able to follow, or do you have any doubts?
No doubt, sir. I'm able to follow. But I have one doubt, sir. Actually, these are the which you have said like TS10 అని చెప్పారు కదా సార్. అంటే ఇది ఇంకా స్టాండర్డ్ సార్ ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళినా సరే ఈ TS10 టీ అనే ఉంటుందా లేకపోతే వేరే వేరేగా
No,
ఉంటాయా?
no. You can give your own coding.
ఓకే.
Like you can give 1000, or you can give TP, every numeric you can give complete alphabetic you can give. Tata Projects Private Limited. TPP, like that you can define anything. You can give alphanumeric coding like this, or you can define like this, or you can define like this. Anything is possible, which is a best suitable one for you.
ఓకే సార్ ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే ఆ ప్లాంట్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ దగ్గర కానీ వెండర్స్ దగ్గర కానీ మీరు న్యూమరిక్స్ 3000 అని కొట్టారు కదా సార్.
Hmm.
అప్పుడు అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను కంపెనీ కూడా టాటా ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ ప్రైవేట్ లిమిటెడ్ అని ప్రతిదీ ఆల్ఫాబెట్స్ లో రాస్తే రాదా సార్? అంటే అది డిటెక్ట్ అవదా?
ఆల్ఫాబెటిక్ లో రాయిద్దనే కదా నేను చెప్తుంది, డిఫైన్ చేయమంటుంది.
అదే ఒకవేళ అంటే అవును సార్. ఈ TP10 అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ బేరింగ్స్ అన్నారు కదా సార్. ఆ బేరింగ్స్ అని కొడితే రాదు, దానికి ఒక కోడ్ ఉంటుంది, ఆ కోడ్ కొడితేనే వస్తుంది.
కోడ్ కొట్టాలి, కోడ్ కొడితేనే సిస్టమ్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే.
దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ వీఆర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ యువర్ బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్, రైట్? నువ్వు బ్యాంక్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి నా పేరు సందీప్ అంటే వాళ్ళు ఇస్తారా? ఇవ్వరు కదా. దే విల్ ఆస్క్ యూ అకౌంట్ నంబర్, రైట్? యూ విల్ బి ఐడెంటిఫైడ్ విత్ యూనిక్ అకౌంట్ నంబర్. Yeah, that is how. Okay, so that is the reason we are defining the organizational element for each and every org element and defining the coding. This particular coding we are going to configure in SAP. So how we are going to configure we will see, but prior to that we need to define the coding, right? So the first and foremost organizational element in SAP MM is a plant. So every company code or line of business will have the plants like this, right? TM10 is having TM11, TM12 and TM13, and TS10 is having TS11, TS12 and TS13. And we have TP10. So TP10 is having TP11, 12 and 13 like that, right? So then, so as a MM consultant, we need to understand what is the meaning of the plant, what is the description of the plant, right? So what is the description of the plant, you need to understand, right? So plant is a first level of organizational element in SAP MM org structure. So plant is a highest level of org element in SAP MM. So plant is the highest level of org element in SAP MM, right? Or first level of organizational element in SAP MM. It is a manufacturing facility within a company where production activities will be taken place. Activities are happening. Means if you go to any company, there will be a manufacturing activities will be happening, right? So that particular facility where you are producing the production activities or the manufacturing activities will be called as a plant in SAP materials management. Not only production activity, it is also a facility where the procurement of materials and procurement of services also happening, right? Means material procurement, service procurement, everything will be happening within a plant. So the location where procurement of the materials and procurement of the services also will be happening. So that particular facility will also be called as a plant along with the production activities. It is also a facility where sales of materials and sales of services also will be happening. Services also happening, right? So plant and it's a place or location where the production activities are happening. Like if you take Tata Motors Pune plant, what is happening here? You are producing a truck, which is nothing but a production activity. To produce a truck, you are buying so like tires, tubes, all those things you are procuring from external vendors and assembling into a final product car. Once you produce the car, you are selling the car to the customer. So it is a place where a production is happening, procurement is happening, and sales also happening, which is nothing but a plant, right? Okay, I think so. Tomorrow, Archana is also going to join the call, right? So we will discuss tomorrow. Why? Because again, she will miss the class, right? Organizational structure is very important topic, so you need to understand very clearly. So that is the reason we will discuss tomorrow once Archana is available. She traveled to Hyderabad today, and she said she will be joining tomorrow. Any doubts, Sandeep?
No, sir. No, sir. Perfectly all right.
So are you traveling now, or you are
Sir?
attending from? Are you are you traveling?
No, sir. No, sir. Not
You
traveling.
are attending from home only, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay then. Okay, we will continue tomorrow. Why? Because again we need to discuss once Archana is available, right? So better
Okay,
to
sir.
discuss in one go. Okay then. Thank you. Bye bye. I
Yes.
think tomorrow I will let you know if you are coming offline. I will let you know the timings. Okay, so that at
Yes, sir.
least we will take your
Actually,
class.
yes, sir. Actually, I'm in Hyderabad only.
Mm.
ఇఫ్ యూ లైక్ అంటే మీరు ఎప్పుడైతే ఆఫ్లైన్కి రమ్మని చెప్తారో ఇంకా ఆ టైంకి ఆఫ్లైన్కి వచ్చేస్తాను సార్.